Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Dr. Jules Montagnier, the famous cosmetic chemist, creator of that popular trio, Stop-Et Spray Deodorant. Ooh, there goes perspiration. Its delightful spray mate, Poof, Deodorant Body Powder. And Finesse, the new flowing cream shampoo. And now Dr. Jules Montagnier, originator of these three fine products, invites you to enjoy What's My Line?
And now, let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal-American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left, a very humorous young man who is making his television dramatic debut on Tuesday night on the program called Danger, Mr. Steve Allen.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you very much. And on my left, one of the lovely ladies of radio and television who is now rehearsing for her soon-to-open Broadway play, Late Love, Miss Arlene Francis.
Thank you, Steve. And on my left, a gentleman who has just returned from Atlantic City, where he's been gathering material for a piece he is going to do, including the Atlantic City Beauty Contest, Judge Bennett Cerf.
They were very beautiful girls, particularly the one who was named Miss America, but they had nothing on you or Dorothy, Arlene. Or my wife, or my secretary. That takes care of everything. On my left is our peerless panel moderator, imported at incredible expense from Johannesburg, South Africa, by way of Rye, New York, John Charles Daly.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Once again tonight, we're up to our old tricks. We've invited some friends to come in and visit and bring with them some interesting occupations. They've done their part. Now we think we can give the panel some trouble, and our guests will carry away some prizes. We'll also have a famous guest challenger before the panel a bit later in the program, but now we ought to get underway, and it's time for the experts to meet our first challenger, whose job they have to spot. So will you sign in, please, sir? Frank Allen, is that right, sir? Mr. Allen, would you tell us, first of all, where you're from?
From England.
Oh, from England. How long have you been in America?
Just a few days.
Just come in for a visit?
Yes.
Well, it's nice to have somebody from the far shore with us. I think you ought to meet some more Americans. Would you walk down and meet the panel, please?
Mr. Allen?
Hands across the sea and all that?
Hip, hip.
All right, Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen, will you come over here and join me now, please? And the way we work this is that after you've had a chance to meet the panel and they to meet you, we give them one free guess as to what your line may be, and we begin our free guesses with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Well, he has a very graceful athletic walk. I think he's on some sort of team.
Mr. Allen.
Frank Allen was my great-uncle's name. I think this man is an imposter.
Miss Francis.
I think he tests the ground around the sticky wickets in the cricket matches.
Mr. Cerf.
I think he's possibly a steward on one of the great canard liners that come in.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Frank Allen, and at the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. Mr. Allen, the panel has to dig, and the rules are very simple. Every time you can get a no answer from the panel, it costs the panel $5. We keep flipping cards every time you get a no answer, and when you've got 10 no's, you have won the game. The last bit of help you'll get, panel, Mr. Allen is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Allen, is there any product involved in what you do?
No.
One down
Not told.
One down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Allen, are you in America on business?
Yes?
Of a sort, yes.
Of a sort.
Will you, do you perform some kind of a service?
Yes.
Will you perform that service while you're on this side of the ocean?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, do people ever observe you while you're doing what it is you do?
Do people ever observe you? I would say that they sometimes observe you while you do what you do, would you?
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
And you don't mind?
No?
Do you ever use your hands in what you do?
Yes?
Does your obviously splendid physique have any bearing on your work? Does that assist you in any way?
Yes?
In other words, you use some type of physical aptitude as well as your brain.
Yes.
Do you use any props of any sort in what you do? Do you handle any tools, machinery, or any sort of
Yes.
assistance? Is it something that I could hold in my hands, too?
Yes, you could hold it.
Is this work that is usually done by a man?
Yes.
It would be odd if I did it.
Be pleasant, but it would be.
Do you do your work more or less alone? Or you...
More or less alone. No,
More or
I
less
would
a
say that
soloist.
we'd have to give a no answer to that, wouldn't you? I mean, he would not necessarily. In fact, it would be difficult for him to do exactly what he does if he were alone. That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
Your complexion, sir, seems a couple of shades healthier than that of Mr. Daly. Do you...
I resent that. I resent that.
Do you do whatever you do outdoors?
Yes.
That's nice. And people, we've established people do watch you. Is there anything remotely connected with sport or entertainment connected with your work?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you work with someone else. Is it a sport in which you are engaged?
It
I
could
think
be
yes.
broadly described, so yes.
I take it then it is not a game of any kind.
Well, not as we use the term game.
No. By any chance, are animals connected with the work?
Yes.
That horrified gasp from the audience indicates that there must be animals out there. Well, I guess we have to find out what animal it is now. Huh? Four-legged?
Yes.
Large?
Yes and no.
That's helpful.
When you say no, do you mean when they're little babies?
No, what we mean is that the animals that are in question are large sometimes.
I see. I take it then they are not horses. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are they some sort of non-equine animals? I'm doing jokes all by myself here now for a moment. Are they a farm animal of any kind?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Is this animal ever seen in a circus?
Could be.
Yes.
It only could be. It wouldn't be usual for this animal to be seen in a circus?
Well, there are lots of animals. I would say, to be completely fair, that some of the animals involved would be seen with amazing regularity in a circus.
I see. May I assume that Mr. Allen uses several different kinds of animals in his work?
Either that or several different kinds of animals use him. We haven't figured that out.
Are these animals dangerous in any way?
Yes.
Do you train these animals?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Do you possibly, Mr. Allen, supply zoos and circuses with animals or collect them for that purpose?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, does your work ever take you to parts of the world other than the United States and England?
Yes.
Would you ever be found in a jungle?
Yes.
Are you by any chance a hunter?
Yes.
Are you a big game hunter?
Yes.
I'm so sad. Are you feeling like big game?
Well, actually, there's one more facet, Dorothy, that you should catch up with. Mr. Allen is a big game hunter, but he is also a...
White hunter.
That's actually right, yes. That is the colloquial term.
He's a professional hunter.
He's a professional guide and hunter in Nairobi, Kenya country, I believe. Isn't that right, sir?
That's right, yes.
And, actually, I had a small chance to chat with him. It's wonderful work if you can get the kind he gets. He was the technical advisor and the guide for the making of the picture, Metro-Goldwyn's picture, I think it is, Mogumbo, right?
Right.
And he had all the glamour of Hollywood and all the wild animals and things like that. It's a lot of fun. Well, Mr. Allen, you did right well. I must say that you gave the panel a lot of trouble, which means we did well, too. And thanks for being our guest on What's My Line. It's nice to have you here. All right, panel. A good start. Let's see what you can do with another challenger. Would you sign in, please, ma'am? Charlotte M. Dorothy, is that right? Very lovely orchid that you have there. You make it appear to be much brighter blossom than it really is.
Thank
Will
you.
you tell us where you're from?
Johnson City, New York.
Johnson City, New York?
That's right.
Ah, fine. You have some friends from Johnson City here with you, so have courage.
Thank
Will
you.
you go down and meet the panel, please?
Mr. Chuck. Is that right, Dorothy Chalk?
That's right.
Hello.
Hello, good.
All right.
Thank you. How are you, George?
All right, now, Mrs. Dorothy, will you come here and sit down next to me? I think very probably you know that at this point, we have what we call the wild guess. The panel gets a chance to just pluck it out of the dark, as it were, and we always begin with Miss Kilgallen.
I think she's the head matron of a hospital.
Mr. Allen.
I think she's a Boy Scout den mother.
Miss Francis.
She has an enormously strong grip. I'm with Dorothy. I think she's a trained nurse.
Mr. Cerf.
I think she's the house mother of a sorority.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it, really, so we will let our viewers have a further look at Mrs. Dorothy Chalk, and at the same time, we will tell them what her line is. All right, Mrs. Dorothy Chalk, I think you know all the rules. Every no answer, we flip the card. 10 no's, $50, you've won the game. All right? Mrs. Dorothy Chalk is self-employed. With that, we'll begin the general questioning with Steve Allen.
Mrs. Dorothy Chalk, do you deal in a service of any sort?
Yes, I do.
Do people come to you?
Yes.
Am I the sort of person who might ever... Who might ever what? Who might ever visit your place?
Yes.
I am. If I were to make such a visit, could it possibly make me happy?
Yes.
Do you run an establishment of some kind?
Yes.
Is or are food and drink ever served there? Might people ever phone ahead to make reservations? Is yours the sort of place where a couple might drop in on Saturday night, let's say?
We're going to have a fun. In the context of the question as it was asked, Mr. Allen, we've talked it over and we want to be very fair. So that's 1 down, 9 to go. Miss Francis.
Does health have anything to do with your work in any way?
Yes.
Would it be a place to go, your place, if you were tired and run down?
No, that's right. Actually, well, once again, we want to be very fair. We've talked this out. That makes it 2 down and 8 to go. Mr. Cerf.
Miss Dorothy Chalk, does this place that you run have anything to do with the state of holy matrimony? Would people be apt to come there if they were contemplating the perpetration of matrimony? I mean, legally.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
Just had a terrible thought. Would it be better if they were already married when they got to your place?
Yes, I think so.
Does anything interesting and very happy happen at your place usually?
Yes.
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 Does it have anything to do with the flapping of storks' wings?
I beg your
The
pardon.
flapping of what? Stork wings?
Storks.
Yes.
Well, is it some sort of a maternity pavilion?
I think we would have to accept
think
this
so.
as
Oh,
maternity.
she looks like she'd run a wonderful place.
Mrs. Cerf runs the maternity hospital in Johnson City, New York, right?
Right.
Well,
And you can be pretty tired and run down.
That's ex post facto. Well, Mrs. Durchuk, I'm sorry that we didn't give them more trouble.
Yes.
But you got a little prize there, and we hope you had fun, because that's the most important
Yes.
thing.
Thank
And
you.
thanks very much for being our guest.
Thank
It was
you.
nice to have you on What's My Line. Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. Our friends in the panel would certainly recognize our guest on sight, so they have their usual blindfolds. Are they all in place, panel, the blindfolds? Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel. As you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, why, we just dispense with all of our usual preliminaries and get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Are you in any form of the entertainment business?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
That was yes.
Have you ever appeared on a stage?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Have you ever appeared in motion pictures?
Yes.
Have you ever been in a Technicolor picture?
Yes.
Good for you. You sound like a doll, are you?
Yes.
Are you a brunette?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But then cheer up, so are you.
But not for long. Let me see here, nothing is coming.
Typecasting, you're in danger. Go ahead, Mr. Allen.
Have you ever appeared in a musical?
Yes.
I think I better put on my reading glasses. There isn't enough to. Might we have seen one of your pictures in a first-run theater during the last year?
Yes.
Do you do a little dancing?
Very little.
Am I correct in guessing you are not, however, a dancer?
No.
Yes, you
I
are
mean-
correct in guessing you're not ever a dancer. No, yes.
Do you sometimes appear in pictures which are not of the musical sort?
Yes.
Are you under contract to one of the large studios?
Yes.
So far, so good. Oh, dear. Might we have seen one of your pictures during the last month at a first-run theater?
Probably.
I'll just take a guess in the dark here, because that's the way it is. Are you Jane Russell?
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen. Miss Francis.
Possible.
Pretty dark there. Would you be considered a leading woman?
Yes.
Have you been in pictures for several years, say 8 or 9 or 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
Have you, are you married?
Yes.
Are you glad? Now, are you married now?
Yes.
Do you have any children?
No.
That makes it 3 down and 7 to go. Bennett, Cerf.
I'm a little interested in this marriage of yours. Is your husband by any chance also in the theatrical profession?
Yes.
Does he also do a bit of singing occasionally?
Yes.
Would this musical picture that you spoke about by any chance have been Showboat?
Yes.
And my goodness, we're getting some more things about you're going to be in Mogumbo, which we already had a hunt from. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, you must be Ava Gardner.
Ava Gardner is right. There are lots of small comments I would like to make, panel. Number one, as you probably know, I'm a South African myself. But I've never really felt that I ought to envy any of my fellow countrymen from the whole continent till tonight. Because Mr. Frank Allen, who was our African guide hunter tonight,
Yes.
had Miss Ava Gardner and Clark Gable in train when he went out to make Mogumbo, the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture. And I just think I'm going back home to become a white hunter myself.
Mr. Allen get paid for this?
Well, more than that, this is your first appearance on television,
Yes,
isn't
it is.
Oh, it's wonderful that we should have had you first on
Well, thank you
first
very
television
much.
appearance on What's My Line. And it goes without saying, you seem to carry with you large success so that we know Mogumbo is going to be as big a success as all your other pictures.
Well, thank you. I hope so.
Thanks for being our guest. It was
Thank
lovely
you
having
so
you. Will you
much.
say goodnight to
Yes.
the family? All right, panel, we have just a little time left, but enough time to test you with another challenger. Would you sign in, please, ma'am? Anne Maservi, is that right? How are you? Where are you from? Is it Miss or Mrs.? Miss Maservi, and from Jersey City? All right, well, our time is not very fat, so I'm going to ask you just to walk down in front of the panel, turn right around and walk back again, if you will.
Right?
Oh.
All right, Miss Maservi, right over here now, please. And I think you are familiar with our normal practice, which is to give the panel one free wild guess as to what your line may be. We'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
Fortune teller.
Fortune teller, Mr. Allen.
I think she creates the insides of Valentine candy boxes.
Miss Francis.
I think she's part of an acrobatic act.
Mr. Cerf.
I think she is Mogumbo.
No, I'm afraid nobody has it. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Miss Maservi. At the same time, we'll tell them what her line is. All right. You know the rules, Miss Maservi. Every no answer. And you come in just a bit closer, please. Thanks very much. Every time I flip a card, you've got it. We'll keep the record up here. 10 no's, and you've won the game. Miss Maservi is salaried. Let's begin the general questioning with Bennett, sir.
Miss Maservi, is there some product involved in what you do?
Yes.
Would this be a product that could be used by both sexes?
No.
One down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, is it used by a grown-up of one sex?
Yes.
More than children? Is it used in the home?
Yes.
Is it ever carried about?
Yes.
Well, is it used more by women than men?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is it smaller than a bird bath?
How big a bird did you have in mind?
One of those storks that was flapping around.
Yes, it's smaller than a bird box.
Is it smaller than a bread box?
Yes.
It is. Is it smaller than a loaf of bread?
Yes.
Smaller than a large bar of soap?
Yes.
Bet you lose a lot of them, don't you? Is it smaller than a regular-sized bar of soap, a hand-sized bar?
Yes.
I think so.
Is metal any part of its makeup?
Metal?
Mm-hmm.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
And this product is used, I understand, exclusively by men. Is that correct? Would it be something that a man might carry on him?
Yes.
Would it show if he carried it?
You mean, would it show because he was carrying it, or show it?
No, would it, if a man had one on him, would I be able to see it?
Oh, I see.
You'd
If a
probably
man
ask.
had one on him, would you be able to see? Well, I would say this, that to the degree that it has been utilized or put to some purpose that is utilitarian by any man, you would be aware of the fact that it was present.
Certainly sorry I asked that question. Would it be considered an accessory to apparel? Is it something that a man may carry in his pocket or around his neck or...
No, I don't
No.
think so. 4 down and 6 to go and about 30 seconds to go, Mr. Cerf.
Would this be used by this man for any health purposes?
For his health?
Health or beautifying purposes?
Oh, he slipped in the joker there, that health for beautifying. We would have to give you a yes on that, but we've run out of time, Bennett. I think you were beginning to come close. We get then a default on the basis of time for Miss Masivi, who wraps mustache wax. Miss Masivi, you and the co-prize are going to do another guess. In just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a preview look at one of our guests whose line our panel is going to be asked to try and identify on next...
Good night, Steve.
Good night, boys, and good night, Arlene.
Good night, boys, and good night, Bennett.
Good night, you African wolf, Mr. Daly.
And good night, ladies, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
They come from all over the globe. The doers, the dreamers, seeking the thrill of competition and attainment of the ultimate prize, the high score. GSN.com. Serious fun.